Hey, coffee cuties. We are back with another banger. And today we are back with another reaction video. In these reaction videos, I am going to be giving my raw and unfiltered opinion about viral topics surrounding curly hair. So let's just get right into it. So today we have Stormy Seal of Canva Beauty. She is the CEO and founder of Canva Beauty, and she is on the docket for going viral for not only having the most live sales on a TikTok live, about a million sales she had at first, and then she broke her record again recently with over a million sales in 3 hours. So your girl is definitely doing big things out here with Canva Beauty. But unfortunately, as we know, more money means more problems. And she is also going viral because she is currently in a legal battle with her former COO by the name of Kyle. I guess he is alleging that because of all the work he put into Canva Beauty, he is the reason for her newfound success. So I am not a legal expert. I am not in the legal field, etc. But when I saw your girl, attorney Simone Red Wine, covering the story, I knew I had to do a reaction video. So if you are not familiar with attorney Red Wine, she was on Ready to Love, where she ended up matching with a dude afterwards, and it was just a whole big ordeal. But nevertheless, she is in the legal field. She is a lawyer. Of course, she is not representing neither one of the two people that is involved in the legal suit surrounding Canva Beauty, but nevertheless, she can give a perspective from someone who knows a thing or two about the law. So I'm going to leave her video linked in full down below if you are not interested in the pausing and stopping and me giving commentary in between. But if you go to her channel, be sure to let her know that the Coffee Cutie sent you. So maybe she can come on my channel and break down some of these lawsuits that surround all these natural hair products that we be talking about rather. That will be absolutely wonderful. So again, be sure to leave your girl a good word in her comment section. But nevertheless, we are going to go ahead and dive into this video where again, I will be pausing and stopping, giving commentary here and there, and then coming back with my final commentary. So let's just get into it.
This past weekend, Stormy Steele broke TikTok records once again. So she previously broke TikTok records for being the first TikTok seller to ever sell $1 million of product in a live. Well, this time she beat her.
I'm gonna pause here and say that is so incredible, especially for a Black woman. She is doing big things out here once again. And if you don't know about Stormy Steele, she is actually on Love and Marriage Huntsville as well with her husband and her beautiful baby. So be sure to check your girl out on there as well. Your girl is just taking over in all fields. But let's continue.
Own record selling $1 million worth of product in only 3 hours. Now, this is going to be really interesting given the updates in her lawsuit, which we're going to go into. Kyle, the former COO of Candace Beauty, is suing and claiming that without Kyle, she could have never obtained the success that she's had to date. Now, while Kyle was working with her is when she initially broke the TikTok record, selling over $1 million of product over the course of a few hours on TikTok Live. But here, given that she's continued to do it herself, now that kind of weaken his argument. Now we can see that.
I'm going to pause here and give a fun fact about Kyle as well. If you're not aware, he actually was on Love and Marriage Huntsville with Stormy, where they talked about how the business was going through some financial struggles, etc. Then he came on board and he did help her turn the business around, kind of like a consultant, or I'm not sure what his, I guess he's the COO, that's his title or whatever. But he came in to do a job and I guess he did it well. But to feel like you are obligated or feel like you are the reason for the company taking off, etc. I have to disagree with that because Canva Beauty was already a thing before that. She was just making some bad decisions, I guess, financially, allegedly. But we're going to continue because, as you can hear Attorney Red Wine say, she was able to achieve over $1 million in sales even after Kyle left and sued her. So let's continue.
She's able to continue to have those sales without him. But also, more importantly, as a consultant, he got in there and he did what he was paid to do. Consultants are paid to come in, improve a company, and leave because they're far more expensive than if you're simply hiring a salaried worker. But also, what's significant here is we have to wait and see, is Kyle going to amend his complaint to claim that he's entitled to percentages of what she sold in this TikTok live? But here's the legal breakdown. All right. So if you recall, Stormy.
Wow. So he feels like he is entitled to percentages that she sells during the TikTok live because he was a consultant for the company. And I guess he feels like he's obligated to those funds. That is not how it works at all. Like, you are paid a fee for the job that you are performing. And that's it. You don't have any contract saying that you are obligated to a percentage of my sales. I don't know what this guy is thinking. I know he is only in his 20s. So I'm not sure if he's just not aware how business works. I'm not sure what is going on. I do want to say that that is a great thing that he in his 20s is able to understand business and marketing to the point where you were able to drag a business out of the hole. But to feel obligated, I got to side eye your boy. But let's continue.
From Love and Marriage Huntsville and her COO, Kyle Ivanko, were going at it as far as not even going at it. Kyle took to social media to tell the world in the court of public opinion about how wrong she had done him, how he had slaved for 18 months for her company and just given it his all and this, that, and the third. And that she just did him so wrong. And that in the end, she
Working for a company does not mean that you're owed a percentage. Like, I was with my former company before I relocated for 10 years. Does that mean I am going to get a portion of the nursing company because I was an employee for 10 years? And in my opinion, I helped turn many of the patients, their health, etc., around. That doesn't mean that I'm entitled to own the company and or have a percentage of the company, etc. But again, he's young. I hope he takes this lesson and learn some valuable things from it. But let's continue.
only offered him 1 month's salary and wanted him to sign away all of his rights to the company. And then we read the documents and the true petition, because what happens is he filed his lawsuit first in federal court. The next day, because you file and it doesn't necessarily, the other person will not immediately know. They don't know until they get started. So he filed like on a Wednesday night, for example, and she filed Thursday morning in Huntsville State Court. Well, if you read both of their complaints together, and for those that are in my membership, I will happily, if you want me to, I will put those in the membership. If you read what I do when I want to try to figure out the truth, because as we say, it's always somewhere in between. You read both complaints together. And one thing both complaints make clear is his salary, this 27-year-old boy, at the time he was actually like 25 or 26, his starting salary was $10,000 a month working from home. Woo, baby, that's real good. He was there to do like digital stuff for Canvas Beauty, Stormy's company. And this is Stormy from Love and Marriage Huntsville. This company, Canvas Beauty, that she has been in existence for about 5 years prior to Kyle coming as a consultant for $10,000 a month to help. He worked there for
10,000 a month in your 20s is a lot of money. I'm not sure where Kyle is located, but I know Stormy again is in Huntsville, Alabama, or somewhere in the Alabama area. So I don't know if he's there too. But $10,000 in Alabama, you are basically living like a millionaire. But let's continue.
3 months at 10K a month. And then he was doing a good job. He said he was going to get rid of all of his other clients, work exclusively for her at 30,000 per month. So she ups his salary to 30.
30,000 a month in your 20s to do consulting work for a natural hair brand. Maybe I need to look into this job because I feel like I could turn a few companies around as well. So if you are a natural hair brand and you need somebody to come in and do consulting work, marketing, branding, etc., hit your girl up. But let's continue.
Let me tell you, let me tell you about the kinds of things I would be willing to do at 25 years old for $30,000. The kinds of things I would be willing to do with my clothes on. I mean, my dad is in the other room, so I'm not going to like go into detail, but they are going to be strange. They're going to be odd, and I may or may not be, losing a little bit of my dignity. But that's a really good price.
Uh, Simone is a fool. So let's continue.
A really good salary to be making at 25 years old, 30K a month, and you get to work virtually. You can work, you can get in your panties. So he's making that, and basically he's making that for 18 months. And then, according to his documents and hers, he was acting as the COO, the chief marketing person, and as well the CFO, like doing the finance stuff. And then the two of them, they get into an argument, and he says, "You know what? I'm going on leave, and I don't know when I'll be back." What? I own my own law firm, and if I had hired someone to be my COO who was also doing CFO work and chief marketing work, and that person says, "I'm going to go on indefinite leave, and I don't know when I'm coming back," I say, "Okay, we got to replace you." So that's what happened. He did not like it.
See, this is a good lesson in business. I feel like everybody wants to be the boss, but they don't want to do what it takes to be the boss. You can't get mad because you got into an argument with the actual boss and just say, "Oh, I'm leaving. I don't know when I'm coming back." And then you're going to get mad because I'm going to move on without you. Like, what? You just thought that I just wasn't going to make any money. I was just going to sit around or maybe kiss your ass and just wait. I don't know what he thought, but again, he is a young guy, so maybe he's just not fully aware of the way the world works, but he's definitely going to learn today. But let's continue.
So this man at the 30,000 a month, um, and by the way, he's making the 30,000 a month. And according to his initial version, he's saying, she then sent me a termination letter after I told her I was going on leave. This is not a leave that is protected by FMLA or anything like that. When you are a contractor with a company or even an employee, if you want to use FMLA or something, you have to submit doctor's notices, all of that. None of that's alleged. Well, it was alleged that in addition to the 30K a month, this little boy got $2.7 million from the company and there was no contract in place. And he's now suing for more.
$2.7 million on top of 30K a month, and you still feel like you're obligated to more. He is absolutely insane. And like she said, he was a contract worker, so you are not obligated to anything. And she was actually nice enough to give you the $2.7 million for your hard work, I guess, and whatever you contributed to the company on top of your salary. She's definitely better than me. But another thing I want to say is that if I was Stormy, I definitely would not let this young guy see my financial books. That is something that I personally will hold dear to my chest when it comes to running a business. Because as you can see now, he's definitely slimy. Clearly, he saw the numbers that was coming in and just felt like he was obligated to more and more because maybe Stormy, I don't know how much her business is worth at this point after the turnaround, but clearly your boy saw some numbers that made him clearly upset. But let's continue.
He's now suing. And I really had to read this over like 2 or 3 times because I was like, surely this isn't correct. He's suing now because he says that he has an verbal, unwritten agreement to own 30% of Canvas Beauty, which was in existence for 5 years prior to his coming to the company. So these are the facts. Yeah. Yeah. Stormy from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Thank you. We've got almost 600 in the chat. Hit that like. So these are his claims. Now he's super excited. So he filed his lawsuit where he's basically asking.
I don't believe for a second that anybody would give 30% of a multi-million dollar business over to someone verbally. This guy is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if he has clearly he has some type of vendetta against Stormy or whatever, but who is going to actually believe that? And you have absolutely no proof. So let's see if this actually holds up in court or not.
That the court grant him 30% of the profits of this company for the rest of his life, even though he didn't buy into it. And if you ever watch Shark Tank, someone will say, hey, I'm offering this amount of equity in exchange for this dollar investment, right? Or the only time you don't have to give a dollar investment is if you create a company together from scratch, which wasn't what happened here. And then secondly, he is saying that he's entitled to 30%, a 30% bonus on the profit. So 30% of the value of the company, and then 30% of the profits for the rest of his life. Yeah, you heard her.
30% for the rest of his life. Are you insane, Kyle? Are you insane? I have to ask, allegedly, because don't try to come to me. Are you allegedly insane? Let's continue.
Well, let's hit those likes. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what he's arguing. Now, he filed his lawsuit first. She filed hers. He's excited. He posted this online as an example of his victory. And I'm going to show you why I'm concerned about him and his legal team. All right, he posts legal update. Now, this document, and I'm going to show you the document below. The document is a notice of dismissal filed by Stormy's legal team. Now, it says,
I'm going to speed it up a little bit just so we can get through it, but let's continue.
Update. The bogus lawsuit filed against me in retaliation and to intimidate me is being dismissed. The same one that had a process server pounding on my door just before 10 p.m., 3 nights in a row, first 2 nights leaving before I had an opportunity to open the door. Then he says, I'll take some time, but I'm actually very much looking forward to my day in court. So he's saying, legal update, the bogus suit against me has been dismissed. Filed against me in retaliation has been dismissed. All right. Now here's the truth. If you look at the document, you see here, it says, pursuant to the rules, the plaintiff files this notice of dismissal without prejudice. Concurrently pending in the Northern District of Alabama, that's the lawsuit that Kyle filed, is a separate federal court lawsuit initiated by Kyle in which Canvas intends to proceed to prosecute its claims. In other words, Unfortunately, it's not the win that he thinks it is. The truth is, it simply means that they've decided to pursue it in federal court versus state court. Let me tell you, this was genius.
So he's on his social media flat out lying, pretending that Stormy dismissed the case, but really, like she stated, he filed in federal court. Stormy filed in state court, so she is going to fight the case in federal court against him versus state. So again, he's putting out a lot of misinformation, trying to trick the audience, basically trying to win public opinion. But so far, I am not moved. I am not won over. But let's see by the end of the video if my opinion changes.
We are talking about Huntsville, Alabama. Okay. Huntsville, Alabama federal court is going to be so much more conservative. And it's going to have, and it's not just Huntsville, it's going to have some Burlington and others. This is a happy, eager, cute little gay boy who is in his 20s talking about he should be owed millions of dollars from this Alabama-based company that he didn't found, he didn't all of those things. I say this to say, you got to know your venues, y'all. And when you look and evaluate your venues, the last place as a gay boy who's already been given $3 million and wants a bunch more that I'd be wanting to deal with a case is in federal court in the Huntsville, Alabama area. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, ma'am.
Great point, because we know how the South get down. I don't want to say, but we know if you're from the South, you know how that is going to go. If you are a 25-year-old white gay male attempting to, in some people's opinion, is going to feel like you're trying to take advantage of a Black entrepreneur woman too, because she already gave you almost $3 million and was paying you $30K a month. They are going to feel like, what more do you want? Like, a verbal agreement alleging that you own 30% of Canva Beauty when you didn't even start up the company. That just doesn't even sound realistic. But let's keep going.
Ma'am, no, sir. Absolutely not. So, and the truth is, all of those things matter. The less you look like a juror, the less they want to give you. Okay. The more you look like them, the more they will empathize with you generally. So that's why if it's a person of color is a plaintiff, you generally want people of color on your jury. It just varies like that. Electric Lady said she is not lying about Alabama federal court. The other thing, very conservative, yeah. And the other thing about conservative courts, they don't like giving people windfalls of money. They don't like awarding millions to people. In this instance, he worked for 18 months and he was paid over $3 million from age like 25 to 27, something like that, 26 to 28, whatever it is. Because they're such hardworking people, they do not like awarding millions unless your body is mangled, you're hit by an 18-wheeler. Like, you got to really come with the injuries. For what does this entitled weirdo get all this money? Oh gosh, he will learn the hard way. He's in his 20s. Yeah, no, he's in his 20s. Somebody said he's living above his means and needs the money to survive. What is the other thing that makes me nervous?
That's a good point in that comment. Like, in your 20s, getting paid $3 million with $30K a month. I don't even get the greed that's going on. Like I said, she shouldn't have showed the books because he clearly seen some numbers that made him realize or make him feel like he was getting the short end of the stick. But you're in your 20s, like the other comment said, you're definitely going to learn the hard way. But let's keep going.
That his attorneys had not explained to him that dismissal, it's procedural, and it's because that's what the law requires, which is this. The first, whichever venue files suit first is generally the venue you're going to proceed in. However, in cases like this, if even if Stormy had filed in state court first, he always has the option to remove for federal court because the amount in current controversy is over $75,000, and back up here because the amount at issue is over $75,000, and because he and Stormy are from two different states. What does this brat get? Why did this brat get paid like that? Yeah, she was really generous. But I think so. Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that was interesting to me when I'm reading that he states he was doing the work of the CFO and the COO, etc. And then on her petition, she says one of the issues she was upset about was that he was tasked with helping to find and hire the new CFO, and after months and months, he didn't do it. Why do you think someone making $30,000 a month plus received a bonus of 30% profit? The two bonuses he stated were there was a bonus in last December of $300,000 on top of the $30K a month, and then a bonus just 3 weeks before he filed suit of $2.4 million. Why do you think that person wouldn't want to hire a CFO? The CFO with any sense would say, hey, you're paying him too much. Hey, don't you dare give a bonus under this structure.
Right. He was trying to cover himself. And I'm paying you all this and you're not even doing what I tell you to do. Nah. And yeah, like she said, he definitely didn't want somebody else up in there who was going to say, this party is over. Like, he's getting paid way too much. What is he doing to deserve this type of reward. Again, if you watched the episode of the Love and Marriage Huntsville, Stormy was definitely very grateful for him because, again, she was drowning in debt from the business due to some bad decisions that she had made. So I just think that she had a close, like she felt obligated in a way to help him out. But I don't think she feels obligated to give him 30% of her business, though. But let's keep going.
Structure. That's not how this works. You see how this works? Also, you see how this works? He finesse. I mean, clever, clever, clever. Let the facts of this case speak for itself. If he is owed unpaid income, his records will, they really, really will. And that's what I'm interested in seeing later in the case, because from his documents, he does not have a contract listing these things, but he does reference things like text messages or audio calls. So that's where we're going to get our juice, guys. That's where there's going to be more tea revealed. And then finally, I'm going to say this. When you are a person like him, when you're an employee or contractor, whichever, under these kind of contracts, what you want to do is this. There's something called default insurance that you can get. So let's say you're a contractor and you have this $1 million contract with somebody. You can literally buy an insurance policy that says if for some reason these people do not pay you and you've done the work and they don't pay you, the insurance company will pay you 99% of what was owed to you. That's number one. So Kyle, if you didn't have, for example, if you were owed the shares and the this and the that, baby, if you had that default insurance, boom, that would be in play. The other thing you have to worry about is this.
I had no idea that type of insurance exists. So you learn something new every day. Default insurance. Okay, so your girl is definitely putting me up on game if I am ever in this situation, but I don't think that it applies to him because it seems like she was paying him. But leave down below what you are thinking about all of this so far. Did you know what default insurance is? Do you think that he's obligated to 30% of the business? Do you think she was overpaying, underpaying? Let me know any and all thoughts.
This is not, I want people to be clear. Generally, this is not the kind of case that you can take, that an attorney takes on contingency. Meaning, this young man is likely having to pay an attorney an hourly rate to pursue this case. And so you have to be strategic, because then you're going against a company like Canvas Beauty. They likely have some type of insurance in place that would cover employment-based litigation suits. In other words, all Canvas will have to do is pay a deductible, and then their legal team will beat the brakes and paper the brakes off of you. I say paper because they file motions and motions. So basically, they have an unlimited amount. It's kind of like if you're in a car accident, right? If you were in a car accident and you hit somebody, then, and even if your insurance company says, yeah, my client was at fault, I was at fault, they're still going to go to trial to fight if they feel like, oh, well, you were only hurt $10,000 worth, but you're demanding $1 million. All I have to do is pay my little $500 deductible, and they are going to litigate against you for years. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a fixed income, you need to keep that in consideration when you're going against a corporation, because if he's not careful, he is going to end up spending every dime of that $3 million that he earned on litigation costs. Baby, the way I would be like, okay, can we compromise? Can I just say something nice about you on social media and I go my way and you go your way, and thank you for the $3 million? Because baby, what you don't want to do is the one time you get a windfall, end up losing it on lawyer fees and then lose your case.
All right, looks like that is the end of the video. So again, let me know what you think down below. And